I don't normally work at the desk, just one night a week. But the concierge called me in that night. One of the guys was sick, so I came in to stand in for him. I'd seen Mr. Karamazov around the apartment building, but I'd never spoken to him. I think his children lived with him. It was quiet that night. People came and went. Nothing unusual happened. Like I said, I've met Mr. Karamazov, but I never met his children, so I wouldn't have recognized them. The usual doorman would know them, not me.
What happened the next day?
Well, I was being checked out of the hospital, and Sonia and Katerina came to see me. Well, I thought they were coming to see me, but they actually, when I first saw Sonia come in, I could tell that something was wrong.
The look that Sonia had on her face was not a good one. It's kind of
Surprise, kind of like between surprise and I don't know what. She wasn't crying or anything, but I could tell something was wrong. And then when Dmitri followed her in,
I knew something was wrong.
I started work at 8:30. On Fridays I vacuum the hallways. Only the even-numbered ones though. It must have been about 10 o'clock by the time I got to the 8th floor. At first I walked by Mr. Karamazov's apartment and thought it was strange that it was open. But I didn't think much of it at the time. So I began vacuuming from the other end of the hall. That's where the plug is. And worked my way back to the elevator. As I was vacuuming, I was looking inside Mr. Karamazov's, and I expected somebody to close the door because the vacuum is so loud, but nobody came. And that's when I saw it. Right inside the apartment by the door, a small smudge of blood. So I called the super from downstairs and we walked in together.
Why did you wait for him? Why didn't you just go inside?
I don't know. I was frightened. I've worked in that building for not even a year. It's a nice building with nice tenants. I didn't want to get involved. I mean, I just thought it would be better if the super was there.
What did you find inside?
Mr. Karamazov. He was lying in the bathtub. His head was all bashed in with a lamp, I think. The blood was all dried, like black.
Why do you think it was smashed in by a lamp
Because it was there,
on the floor?
yeah.
I've been Mr. Karamazov's attorney for the last 12 years. While I'm not officially his estate lawyer, Mr. Karamazov did on several occasions ask my opinion about his will. Several circumstances within the last few months had prompted Mr. Karamazov to reconsider the distribution of his estate. But to the best of my knowledge, he had not officially altered his will, though in fact he was planning to do so. Mr. Karamazov is survived by 3 children, one of which had been illegitimate, but had by blood tests been proven to be Mr. Karamazov's son. There is also Mr. Karamazov's ex-wife and several other parties that were very close to him. Considering the size of his estate, close to $26 million, the exact distribution of his assets to his heirs remains a touchy subject. That's why I recommend that you speak with Mr. Karamazov's estate lawyer directly.
Have you been in touch with any of his children?
I am not a specialist in criminal law, nor do I wish to violate client confidentiality, but I have been contacted by parties directly involved with Mr. Karamazov.
What do you know about the murder?
Nothing. I told you, I was in the hospital, passed out.
You weren't at the apartment that night?
No, I was in the hospital. Ask the EMTs.
Your father's lawyer claims that he was planning to change his will. Did he ever talk to you about it?
Yeah, he did. Said he regretted the fact that we only just recently met. He wanted to make up for it. So he wanted to, essentially treat me like his other children.
Did he tell that to anyone else?
I don't know. I don't know.
What else?
Well, he told me that he was disappointed with Dmitri and Jennifer.
He loved them both, and things weren't working out.
So he was going to cut them out of any inheritance?
He told me that he didn't want that bitch to get any more of his money. And he also told me that any money that he gave Dmitri was going to go up his nose, so Dmitri wasn't going to get any of the inheritance until he fixed his drug problem.
They both admit to seeing your father the night of his death.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
That makes sense.
So you think they may have had something to do with it?
I don't know. I guess it's possible. Fyodor was worth a great deal of money, as we know.
So you think it's possible that Dmitri and Jennifer, knowing that your father was planning to write them out of his will, conspired together to murder him before he got the chance to change his will?
Is it possible? Anything's possible. Why don't you ask them?
We did ask them.
What did they say?